Well, happy Friday from the Whisky Neighbour. My name is John, and today I thought I would do a quick review of Knob Creek Straight Rye. Actually, I've never had Knob Creek Straight Rye, so I suppose this is an uncorking and my first impressions. So see you after the break. Yeah, so when I was thinking of a review that I wanted to do this weekend, I've been listening a lot or following a lot of people that seem to be releasing rye in the next couple of days. So I thought maybe the theme would be to do a couple of tastings with rye that's out there, especially with some rye that I picked up that I haven't tried yet. So today I want to check out Knob Creek Rye. Looking online about information about Knob Creek Rye, I couldn't find an age stamp on it. It just says patiently aged, which is just another way of saying younger than we want to say. But likely it's aged up to 9 years, only because their regular bourbon says aged 9 years, and they have other expressions that might be aged longer. So I just imagine that this is less than that. Other than that, it's bottled at 50% APV or 100 proof. It is from the Knob Creek family. I don't know what else I can tell you about it. I don't even know the mash bill of this particular rye. I do know that when it is a rye from the US, of course it has to have 51% rye grain in the mash bill. That's different than in Canada. Other than that, I'm pretty anxious to give it a little bit of a review, a little nose. I've had it in the shelf for some time, and as you've heard, if you've been following me, I like rye. So we'll give it a little bit of a nosing here. Well, it's interesting. I would say off the top, it's got a little bit of the floral notes you're looking for in rye. But already I can pick up a bit of wood maybe, and I'm not sure what else yet. Yeah, there's going to be a significant amount of corn in here. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but maybe my mind's just saying I do like some of the Knob Creek bourbon expressions a fair amount, and I like them for their strong candy, caramel kind of flavoring. Maybe that's going in my mind. I'm not getting that for sure on the nose, but there is a sweetness going on and a spiciness. You can see the color looks like it's picked up a fair amount, I imagine, from New American Oak toasted barrels. Yeah, not as strong as you might think, right? At 50%, it's obviously going to be a fairly strong drink. Now that I've curled it a bit, this is really hard to pick up on video camera, but you can certainly see that it's got decent legs, which may speak to its mouthfeel in a moment. But actually quite nice up front. Not very boozy considering its strength. Not terribly layered. I'm not really getting any really char yet, but I'm getting a little bit of sweetness. Some floral notes. Yeah. Oh, I think quite a nice nose. Okay. Yeah, well, these are first thoughts. This is the first time I've ever had it. So, definitely, I don't want to start with the finish, but I'm left with that right away, right? I tried to chew on it a little bit, but then when I swallowed right away, you do get that drying bit of rye, and you get the spiciness around. For me, I always say it's around the edges of my tongue, but you get that flavor that perks you up when there's rye. Yeah, maybe medium. I suppose the strength of it is there. It's warm. I've heard the Canadian Master Blender at Herman Walker say, you know, that warm hug. I think Canada's trying to take back rye, so he'd call it a Canadian hug. But definitely it's warming on the finish. And there I can get quite a bit of wood, quite a bit of barrel notes. Just having that second or third sip there and letting it kind of be in my mouth a little bit longer. It's reasonably coating, so the mouthfeel kind of reflects what you see on the glass's edge. So sometimes that mouth coating can come off as smooth. I wouldn't necessarily say this is smooth. It's actually still fairly rough, but the mouthfeel can almost make you think, oh, that was really quite smooth, right? Because it's quite coating. But there's some of the pepper coming through now. And I am getting, you know, if I'm wrong, and I sure have been before, but I feel, or I believe that I'm tasting a little bit of that, what I would normally get from a corn. You know, so this must be obviously 51% rye, but I can't be 100% rye in any way, because I'm getting layers of caramel and toasted candy, sugary notes, burnt sugar that I usually get when I'm drinking a corn whiskey. But if it's all rye, then I have been fooled. That could be. The aftertaste is that, you know, there's a little bit of bitterness in there. I think that's pretty common with ryes, younger ryes. But yeah, I guess I'm searching a little bit for some flavored depth. There is a pleasant sweetness. There is a nice floral note in the nose. There is good wood in the taste. The aftertaste, you know, you get that little bit of dry puckering. You get what you're looking for in a rye. And it's strong, but this might be, like, you could certainly sip this neat. And I haven't tried it with water. That would be my next thing to see what opens up when I add a bit of water. Because I like these notes, a bit of grassiness in it, I probably would drink this neat and recommend it. At the price point here in Canada, I think you're hoping to get a neat drink out of it, not just a mixer. But it might be an excellent mixer, only that it would have a lot of backbone, that spice, you know, the higher alcohol, but it doesn't have terribly much going on, and so it won't cover up maybe some of the other flavors you're looking for in cocktail. So that's my first thoughts. Again, first thoughts, very tough to get a review or a star rating, but I like it. This would be, you know, 3.5, I would say, if I'm going to go with a star rating. But it would be nice to try it, you know, maybe next day bring out another rye. It's certainly not like maybe even 4 stars, but if I compare it to ryes that I feel like I kind of know their flavor profile, it's just not as interesting as a Lot 40. Certainly not anywhere close to the Lot 40 cask strength. For me, it's actually very similar to a Bullet Rye, although it is smoother, a little easier in the palate. The mouth feels a bit, got a little bit more to it, that oiliness that I'm talking about, and a little bit more wood. So it's better than a Bullet Rye, but actually the flavor profile is very similar. Now, Bullet Rye is 95% rye. What this that I'm getting off it, could be mental, is a little bit of sweetness beyond what you'd get from a rye. I like it. You know what? I'd just sitting it on a little longer, smelling it a little longer. I think I would move this even to a 4-star location. Yeah, I think I would. Early thoughts. I should come back to it. Should come back to it with some water. Maybe I will before I write up my written part of my review. But Knob Creek Rye, especially if you see it on a promotion, definitely worth having on the shelf. I'd recommend it, or certainly trying it. Now, only if you like rye. It is definitely a strong, pungent, and those kinds of things you're going to get from rye. That's my review. Now, thinking of things nearby, I put this bottle down here to remind me to talk about Rig Hand. They used to be Big Rig, and that's what this bottle says, Big Rig here. They're local. They're in Leduc, so that's just south of Edmonton in Alberta. And the reason why I wanted to remember to talk about them is they are releasing on November 4th their first rye whiskey. And they have limited number of bottles. I know if you call the distillery, they're taking pre-orders. But that should be a pretty interesting release. Part of also why I wanted to review Knob Creek, because there's quite a few interesting ryes happening. So Rig Hand, if you search them up, I'm sure you can find them. They're close by if you're in Edmonton, and that'd be a pretty unique thing to get, a hand signature on a first edition rye bottle from what likely will be a great, well, they are a great distillery, but a growing small craft distillery in the area. Also makes me think of Last Mountain. If I haven't said that before, they're releasing a cask strength rye, their first, on November 11th. That's interesting, that's the November 11th, but I'm pretty sure that's the right date. They are only releasing in Saskatchewan though. You might have to go to Lumsden, Saskatchewan to get it. I'm not sure that's in my future. I'd love to try it though, because I did appreciate their private reserve, bottled at 45%. So a couple of new ryes coming out in Alberta and Saskatchewan, which I hope to be able to taste. As you know, I do enjoy a good spicy rye. That'd be my local comment. Hope you guys have a great weekend heading into the Halloween craziness on Tuesday. Be safe, drink responsibly. If you like the video, please like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make a comment, especially correct me. I feel like I should have done a bit more research, but I like to have my videos done before I lose daylight. So I thought I'd come in, here's a bottle I haven't tried. I've been thinking about the new ryes coming out. Wanted to give Knob Creek a try. First thoughts, good, even great. Definitely 3.5, 4-star rye. Give it a chance. Thanks guys, I'm John, your whiskey neighbor. Take care.